Hello, the devil are we? I'm Matt, and we're back. Oh, are we back? So, President Trump is saying declassify the alien files. We've had the Epstein files, now it's the alien files. Or we've had some of the Epstein files, now it's the alien files. And a lot of the general public were doing exactly what I thought they would do. If a president came out right now and said, release the alien files, there's something to it, we're going to tell people that aliens exist, what would everyone say? It's a distraction from the Epstein files. So you can't win either way. But let's have a look what Fox News is going to say about it, because they're always unbiased.
Okay, so the president is saying that he's going to direct the Pentagon, and he has already, and other government agencies to start releasing the government records related to alien life and UAPs. And it comes after former President Obama's comments about aliens sparked worldwide interest. Government transparency on UFOs has been growing in recent years, and lawmakers are pushing for increased reporting requirements. For more, let's bring in House Intelligence Committee member, Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Congressman, great to have you. Before I get into the files that the president wants to release, I want to play the soundbite just for our audience about what Barack Obama said and what sort of like started this firestorm. Let's listen here.
Sure.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
How do you read into that? So he's saying that aliens exist. So somehow there's proof that aliens exist, not just a belief, or I believe aliens exist. He said, oh, they exist, but they're not being kept in an underground bunker. So the only thing I can infer from that is that we know that they're around, but we don't have possession of vehicles and bodies.
Okay, so the president says he really revealed classified information. What part of that do you think is classified? Is it the part that he's talking about Area 51?
You'd have to ask the White House on that one. I don't think that there. I mean, I can say I've visited Area 51 as well, and I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I have the same answer. Again, if they're hiding something there, they're doing it really, really well, and it's just not what the area is used for.
Okay.
I don't think Area 51 would ever really be purposefully used for hiding crashed alien vehicles, UFOs, UAP, whatever you want to call it, because it's so well known. I mean, you don't have an area like that is just under scrutiny 24/7 with people with telescopic lenses videotaping the place. There's a YouTuber, I can't remember his name, but he's out there all the time, basically just looking at what's going on. Is it used for aircraft testing, things like that? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe S4, maybe there is an underground base there. But I can't imagine that it would be used now. Maybe back in the day, but not now. I think the bit that's talking about being classified, I think is when he said aliens exist is a classified bit. I think that's the bit which is classified because the government knows for a fact they exist. And that's the bit where he's come out and said, yes, they do.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think is going to come out of these files? So he's releasing all of these files, and my first question was, okay, but like, isn't all the juice in the classified stuff? The classified files is what we really want to see.
Well, and that's probably what he's talking about, is probably declassifying. Look, there's an unclassified version that everybody has seen, and it's somewhat disappointing. Look, I'm on the Intelligence Committee, so I do have access to the classified version. I will say it's more detailed, but it's equally disappointing in this. What makes it classified is likely the methods by which we have collected some of this evidence. And look, there's plenty of evidence of this anomalous behavior that we cannot explain. I mean, we just can't explain it. We've all seen the videos. We've seen the Tic Tac video. This is all recorded on a number of sensors that are highly verified. It doesn't mean we know what it is, and I think that's what it's disappointing to everybody, right? It's disappointing to me. I want to know.
Yeah, he's right there. I think the platforms for collecting the data is the bit that's classified. Because if you think about, you've got a spy satellite or you've got cameras on aircraft that have really got classified technology about them to be able to collect information from foreign targets, other aircraft, etc. Those are the bits that are classified. Mechanisms for storing, for sharing, collating, all that could be classified, but it doesn't mean that they're classified because they know what the actual UAP is. I think they know. They must know, surely.
Because the attributes of some of these, whatever it's these crafts, I mean, they defy the laws of physics, and so that's where you get into the sci-fi theories about gravity manipulation, the ability of some kind of engine that can manipulate gravity. And accelerate it at speeds that would kill somebody normally, but because it cloaks itself in some sort of gravitational bubble that it actually doesn't kill them. I mean, this is all
So
sci-fi.
I know it's
Well, it's sci-fi because you don't understand it, but everything was sci-fi back in the day until it became scientific fact.
We can't prove any
it
of it.
sounds insane. I mean, it really does, as you're saying it, but it's reality. I mean, this is what our
I mean, it would have sounded insane 20 years ago to say that you were basically going to land 2 rocket boosters and something the size of a building is going to be caught with chopsticks. But we've seen it.
Air Force pilots are seeing out there. So where are you on the spectrum here? Because
And we've managed to measure quantum entanglement speed, which would that have been possible for 10, 15 years ago?
I feel like more and more lawmakers are starting to, go from, well, this might be technology we have that the government's hiding, another government has, to now this is technology that is non-human. Where are you at in this?
I'm open-minded. Because look, I still have to see some hard evidence. And one of the things that I think the public should know is, look, we've seen a lot of these folks. The Age of Disclosure is a really big documentary right now on Netflix. I was on it. I was surprised I was even on it. I don't remember even doing that interview. I didn't know who I was. I just do so many interviews, and I'm on this this documentary, which I thought was really funny. It was a good documentary. I don't think it went too far. It put out some theories, but look, there's a lot of people in this space, in this extraterrestrial space, who claim they have evidence. And I recall back in 2022, these famous hearings. You had the 2 pilots who had seen this stuff, and I think these are very credible witnesses. And you had another guy who said he had worked on the program and had classified material that he was going to give to the Inspector General. I thought I remember him saying he was giving it to the Intelligence Committee, on which I say, and I remember thinking to myself, you've never given us anything.
Huh.
Where's the
Where is
classified
it?
documents? He said, yeah, you've never given us anything. So
I wouldn't give it to the Intelligence Committee either, to be honest, because they're just probably another function of the DoD.
people should know that. I think some of these folks are just not telling the truth. And if there's so many, then why can't we have one piece of evidence besides some of the again, we have evidence of anomalous behavior. Does it mean extraterrestrial? Does it mean it's China? Well, I certainly hope China doesn't have something that good. And look, I can't say for sure, but I'm 99% sure that there's no way they have something that's that incredible of a craft. So look,
I think what he's saying here is there's definitely something to it. There's definitely something flying around our skies that defy laws of physics, that outstrip anything man-made, be that any foreign adversary, US technology. It's just that we are not in possession and we do not know what it is. It's the same old narrative, really. So there's something there, but we don't know what it is.
We still have the AARO, the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office that
AARO was not fit for purpose. I don't think it still is.
Investigates these kind of things. I would like our committee to look into it more than it does, to be frank with you. But as President Obama said, it would have to be quite the conspiracy. And
Right, and you didn't see anything in Area 51. There were no little green men. You're confirming
I
for us.
definitely didn't see that.
It's always the same with mainstream media. Oh, there's no little green men. Oh no. Oh. It's like I thought we'd moved past that.
Very hard turn to a completely different topic before I let you go here. I'm running out of time. On Iran, you know, the military is ramping up assets in the region, clearly sending a signal to Iran that we mean business here. The president and the White House are hoping this is going to get them across the finish line on a deal. What's your take? Is it going to work, or are we going to war with Iran?
Well, there's a lot in between going to a full-on war and doing nothing, right? So, look, the president has this is the president's MO. He wants to exhaust all diplomatic possibilities. That's what he's doing.
Can you? I don't know. You've got Iranian citizens being murdered en masse because they just don't want to live under the sort of Islamic regime anymore. This all coincided after Venezuela. You know what I mean? You've seen a dictator taken out of his bed in the middle of the night with his wife, with very little loss of life on the US side. And then you see people in the streets celebrating across the globe, all the Venezuelans celebrating. And I think that showcased to the Iranian people what the art of the possible was, a future after dictatorship. And you see what happens now. I mean, look at Afghanistan. I don't know if you're aware, but Afghanistan's just made slavery legal and discrimination against non-Muslims legal. They've also banned women and girls from education. I mean, it's backwards. It's completely backwards, and nobody can tell me that that is acceptable unless you're completely for it. And then if you're completely for it, you can go and F yourself, because I just don't understand it. All the soldiers who fought died in Afghanistan. And people might say, yeah, was it a justified war? But probably would be now if you look at what they're doing over there. So in terms of Iran, can you make peace with the Iranian regime? Because all they're doing there is saying, yeah, we'll leave you in power. But at some point, they're just basically going to do what they want to do anyway. Just like Afghanistan has.
And he wants to make sure that he has all the leverage possible to do so. So he's already made it clear that we will bomb your facilities if we don't like what you're doing, right? He's already made that clear after Operation Midnight Hammer. And he's making it clear now that we have a lot of resources in the region should you choose not to act in the way we want you to act. But the red lines we've set, and we should set those red lines. We should not go past these red lines. Now, to be clear, that's dismantling the nuclear program, no ballistic missiles, and no surrogate warfare, and supporting surrogates throughout the region. Iranians, I don't think, are ever going to go for any of this.
That's what I keep hearing.
They won't go for any of it, but none of that addresses the problems they've got with their own citizens being murdered.
They're trying to buy time, a couple days here
and rebuilding, right? They're rebuilding their ballistic missiles.
They're definitely rebuilding.
The
Israelis are very closely looking. So you know, this could start sooner than the president even wants it to start, because there could be a quick shooting war between Iran and Israel.
Right.
And like this would be the time to chop the head off the snake. I mean, if you're going to do it, this would be the time. I don't think half measures are worthwhile at this point. Okay. The Iranian people have made it very, very clear back in December that they want a different regime, and they're willing to fight for it if we can just back them up.
Okay. Congressman, great to have you on the program. We'll watch and wait and see what the White House.
I completely agree. The Iranian people want a regime change, and I think now's the time to help. People might say, oh, it's not our war, but these are the kind of, extremists that come into other Western nations. Do you think they'll stay in places like Iran and Afghanistan? Absolutely not, they won't. It'll spread, and the messages will try to get spread. And before you know it, you've got Sharia law in all your communities, and then you've got women being subjugated, you've got grooming gangs being left rampant because nobody wants to be called an Istorophobe. And then you got the Prime Minister, who, if anyone's not seen it, on a GB News article last night, basically being called out for sending ASBO letters to suspected pedophiles instead of actually doing investigations and prosecutions. Anyway, I'm going to stick to UFO news, because at least, even if they said, yeah, they're real and they're going to wipe us all out, that's probably a little bit better than watching them other news that's going on out there at the minute. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're going to get disclosure this year? I think we're moving closer. Closer to what, though? I don't know. See you on the next one. Cheers.